In this challenge, we're going to complete the UI health system. So right now we have the ability to damage our player, but nothing actually happens. So right now we have 4 health bars. So we need to assign our player to have 4 health. So if we look inside our player script here, we have a property for health, and it does implement the iDamageable contract, which the enemies use to attack us. Now for the health here, let's go ahead and initiate it to 4. So here we're going to say health equals 4, because we have 4 units of health. Now once we've done that, what we can do now is we can basically use our damage function here, which basically just says player gets damaged. But instead, you need to actually create logic here. We need to say basically remove 1 health, check for dead, right? Check for your dead, play the death animation. Check for dead, play death animation, but also every time we remove 1 health and we do all that fun stuff for checking for dead, we also need to update UI display. So we may want to update the UI display even before we check for dead. So after we remove 1 health, we'll check for an updated UI display. After that, we check if we're dead. If we are, we're going to play the player's death animation. Now, when you call this update UI display, what is the logic for that? Inside our UI manager here, we're going to have a function called update lives. So let's create a method called update lives. Public void update lives. And within here, you're going to call this from the player and pass in how many lives you currently have. So basically lives remaining. So here we have lives remaining. Now what you want to do here is you want to basically loop through your lives. So you need to loop through the lives. So once you loop through them, you want to basically find the remaining value. So if it's 3, what are you going to do? If it's 3, you're going to go from 0, 1, 2. All right, so that's going to be 3. And basically we want to say, hey, remove this final one. So essentially you're going to loop through the lives here. And then you need to check if I basically, so like you're going to use a for loop. So basically if I is equal to the lives remaining, then what do you want to do? You want to hide that one by basically getting a reference to it and setting it to false. So you're going to need to create some sort of array or something to get access to those health bars. All right, so the logic here visually, again, is if we get hit, our lives are 4, it's now 3. So here we have I equals 0. So I equals 0. So I is going to be here, then I equals 1, then I equals 2. So 2 is going to be less than 3. So we're looking for lives remaining. So it's 4. So on the first hit, it's going to be I equals 3 here. And when we update it, we need to hide that last one. So again, just so we're clear, if we look at our player here, we're going to pass in the value of our lives. So we're going to update the lives display. So if we get hit, we have 4 lives. We get hit, now we have 3. You're going to pass in that 3 into the UI. You're going to go to the UI. We're going to take that 3, which is going to be stored in lives remaining. We're going to iterate through each one. So I equals 0, I equals 1, I equals 2, I equals 3. That's going to then remove this one. So when I equals the max value, we want to then remove it. I'll see you guys in the challenge review.